Hey, good girls, it's SJ and Kay back from the movie theater. Kay just having watched the Odyssey, so we're gonna talk about movie night tonight with some new stuff that's out. You would think that the Odyssey would be really smutty, but I heard that it's not.
Not at all smutty. So
level 1 disappointed. Cancel episode.
I sat through the full approaching 3 hours movie, which is telling you that it is a good movie. Obviously, Christopher Nolan, he's famous and well-known for a reason, and he makes blockbusters for a reason.
But he's also not great. He's not known for his portrayal of women, right? I feel like he's been,
I was just about to say, I would love
time again.
like a Greta Gerwig response Odyssey that is done through like a Greta Gerwig style, because I was thinking as I left, I was like, Christopher Nolan is obviously excellent, but he is also a man, and a lot of his movies are made for men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of prolonged fighting scenes and all this. You know, Matt Damon, my first time that I knew that your body could have a reaction to someone was Matt Damon.
Into men.
Born Identity.
I'm definitely into men.
Yes, it was 8th grade. I was on a flight. The Born Identity was on. He took off his shirt, and I was like, what is my body feeling right now? Like, this is something.
Mine was Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, which now I feel a little bit disappointed because I don't think that that's aged well. And certainly in his eyes, I have not aged well because I passed 26 a long time ago. Hey-o.
Yes, Matt Damon stayed pretty charming and respectable.
He did. That was a good choice
life.
By, what, 10-year-old you? I don't remember how old you were.
He is, older now, and he is the center figure of the movie, and he's doing all these prolonged badass fight scenes, and it just felt very like, yeah, the men watching this movie are like, watch this old man do all these cool moves.
He can still lift up things and throw them at people.
And like his bow and arrows, his arrows just constantly replenish in a way that defies, I realized the entire movie defies, believe in everything like that. You need to transform yourself. But I wouldn't have minded some answer about why he always has arrows.
Also, I feel like if you're looking at the books that these came from, if you were doing the Iliad and doing something about the Trojan War, then it is very accurate to have lots of prolonged battle scenes because it's full of that stuff. There's lots of things that you could just make another Fast and Furious movie also, or the 300 or something. But the Odyssey, Odysseus is supposed to be wily and clever. He's not a warrior, but Athena loves him because he's always outsmarting his enemies. He's not clobbering them. The Achilles is and there's a bunch of other examples of guys that are just really fucking awesome with their weapons. And Odysseus is supposed to be smart.
There were the occasional signs that we were meant to be watching a clever, outsmarting character. There were also a lot of signs that I was watching any male character, which they're like, oh, all the ships are going this way. They must be going this way for a reason. We probably shouldn't go this other direction. And Odysseus was like, no, we must go in this direction. And everybody's like, no, you won't like what you find there. And he's like, no, this is our way home. And then instead, he comes across the Cyclops and the island of the huge, giant, scary guys. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe you should have listened to the other, all the other boats going in another direction, man.
It's true. And this is a bit of a dig at Homer in general, is that I'm like, if Odysseus is so smart, why does it take him so fucking long to get home? Just listen to people. And Athena is trying to help him out and stuff. This is just a whole movie about how men will do anything before they will just ask for directions.
Yes, his friend is constantly like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't be in this cave eating this cheese. We don't know the person. And Odysseus is like, no, the laws of Zeus. We absolutely should be in this cave. And then lo and behold, giant Cyclops comes in and is like, this is my effing cave. I'm going to eat 2 of your people.
Should have listened to your friend.
Okay.
The male loneliness epidemic began with you, Odysseus.
Yes, that's how I felt about Odysseus. So I thought Odysseus needed more of a redemption arc. And then also he spent a very, very long time with Calypso. And I actually thought that it was just weird that in the movie they didn't directly answer us about whether or not Calypso, who was Charlize Theron, and him were having sex, because per Homer, they're having nightly sex for 7 years, which, by the way, is a great relationship. Even if it's not fully consensual.
Odysseus, I don't think you're trying that hard to get home.
Yeah, I don't know. You got Charlize Theron on an island. But then instead of ever saying that they did have sex, it was more just that she was touchy with him and everything. And then she's supposed to be kind of
they're just doing over the pants stuff.
Yeah, I don't. They basically just dry humped each other, but they never dry humped each other either. So
I would have honestly preferred seeing that because that sounds funny.
yes. And then the only thing close to a sex scene that we get is that the intimate bedroom scene between him and Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is lying on his back and they're having their serious conversation with her on his
She's
back.
just surfing on him.
And I'm still like, I don't know. I feel like I have, in the bedroom, like a touchy-feely relationship with my partner. And I've never once been like, let me just rest here on your back. Yeah.
I mean, I did have one friend say, and I was like, oh, fair point, that she was traveling a lot for work. And she was like, for me, more than the sex, it's the skin-to-skin contact I miss
But
while I'm
on
away.
his back? What about, like, just have him
Like
turn
front
over?
to front.
So
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I
yeah.
understand the piece about how, like, you maybe just want to lay with maximum surface area of skin-to-skin contact. But the weird part is that they're just stacked on top of each other like little pancakes instead of, like,
I was watching it, and
spooning, for
all I could
example.
think of was, like, why on earth not front to front unless this was an
It's distracting.
intimacy coordinator thing where they thought it would be more comfortable for Anne Hathaway and Matt Damon as both happily married people to
That
not
his
be
boner
directly
doesn't have to be,
facing
like,
each
poking
other.
up into her if he gets
Yes, I
into
wonder if
it.
it's an intimacy coordinator thing to show intimacy without showing, without
Yeah,
actually
but
making
then
the characters.
spoon. I don't know. There just seems like there are other options. But also,
The
so
surfing, like why
is
the
that
surfing?
like a flashback scene where he's with her? Is it like at the end when they, like, after all of this, they're
It
finally
was
together?
It was before he left. So I guess it would be
Okay.
called a flashback, but I don't know whether I would call it the beginning of the story or a flashback because they kind of play around with time throughout.
Right. I'm just saying, because also if there was any scene at the end after he's been quote unquote lost for all these years and oops, I accidentally lost my dick in Calypso and things like that. And he comes back in a weird way instead of just being like, hey, I'm back. Like, let's get rid of all these guys. Like, he has to make a big show out of it. I don't know how bad Penelope wants to have sex with him at that point. So I was going to say if it's at the end, I feel like she'd just be more like, oh, hey, you made it. And I don't know what options exist at that time, like magical or otherwise, but like get the man tested for STIs.
Oh my gosh, some like nymph. Yeah, I think
He's got
Calypso
some-
is
he's got-
technically a
He's
nymph.
got some nymph
Yes.
chlamydia going on or
Yeah,
something.
don't think that just because she's like Charlize, she doesn't have something. And then in terms of casting controversies with Lupita and
Yeah.
Elliot Page, I didn't see it at all. They were both totally appropriate and really, really well casted. It did not feel at all like, oh, he put that person in there to be controversial or anything. No, Lupita is stately and gorgeous, and how she played in her 5-10 minutes of Helen of Troy was like, yeah, that's about
She's
what I would
a
expect
gorgeous
Helen of Troy
woman,
to be
and
like.
Helen was famous for being gorgeous. And it's like, if we're going to start nitpicking things about historical accuracy or accuracy to the book, Christopher Nolan is going to do way worse in other categories than what color of skin Helen of Troy had, because even if they are trying to be historically accurate in the clothing, that usually what people are dressing the costume. I was like listening to a Instagram reel about historical costumer, that they always put people in the clothes of the era of Homer, but Homer was writing about something that had happened way before his time.
Yeah, it's
So
a myth.
They're not, yeah, it's a myth. This is like when we argue about the race of the Little Mermaid. Like, this is a very silly conversation, but they're just like, there are other things that are like hugely historically inaccurate, but we're all enjoying watching it. We're like, they look ancient Greek. I don't know. But also apparently very popular look for the women to have one or both breasts bared, that you have like a toga kind of thing that goes across like one titty.
Well, there
And I'm
was
like,
definitely a lack of boobs in the Odyssey.
there was a lack of boobs and also like a lack of like guy on guy stuff, which for the time, the Greeks were very pro dudes doing other dudes, especially in the war in Troy where they didn't have a lot of ladies and they had lots of men. So I also just think it's interesting that if we do try to make it sexy, the Brad Pitt one, they like have him maybe have a relationship with the slave girl that they get captured, Briseis. And he has his friend Patroclus, who is obviously, it's like Abraham Lincoln all over again, that it's like they're more than just friends that share a bed. They seem a little or a lot gay, especially in ancient Greek times when guys could totally be with other guys. So like Song of Achilles, great book that really gets into the love between Patroclus and Achilles. But Troy, very silly, because then they did try to make it sexy and have like a glistening Brad Pitt like writhing around, but then they were like, oh yeah, he was obviously just like into this hot girl and not his like boyfriend that was in his bed all the time. Like, please, come on, read about the historical time. There's just a lot of dudes around there.
And a missed opportunity. Look at
Yeah,
Peter's
exactly.
rivalry.
For
People want
like,
this.
yeah, for
Yep.
some great queer romance. So I'm looking forward to them making the Song of Achilles into the movie version, not directed by Christopher Nolan, hopefully directed by Greta Gerwig.
And then I had also seen some casting controversy over Elliot Page because it was like, this is supposed to be some
Who does Elliot Page
storied
play in
warrior.
this movie?
Sinan?
Can you remind me? That's like one of the
So
people in the
in
crew.
Christopher Nolan's version, and I believe in the Iliad, though I'm not sure if it's mentioned in the Odyssey, he is who stays with the Trojan horse, like outside of the horse. And so he
Mm,
convinces them, like, oh, yes, this is a horse that is a gift, and I'll let
yeah.
him bring it in. So he's
Oh, he
basically
was the one who like
sacrificial.
was a Trojan and then like gets captured and then like comes back with the Trojan horse or something. Like he has some reason that he can be in Troy. Anyway.
But in Christopher Nolan's version, he's a younger boy who volunteers for the army. He actually takes our nemesis's draft lottery pick
Okay.
from him because he's like, no, I really want to go
Okay.
and fight and win my honor that way. And so he's much younger than the other people, and he's meant to be kind of like a weak, poor boy.
Mm-hmm.
So it fit that a slighter guy like
Yeah.
Elliot Page was that person who
Yeah.
more was full of
Like
courage but not
boyish.
huge.
Yeah.
And so
Not
again,
Brad Pitt.
it was correct casting as far as I could see. The movie itself had, I don't know, again, like scarier and creepier scenes than I was expecting,
Hmm.
more fight scenes, and just a lot more visual effects than I thought, even though obviously, I guess I should have expected cool effect scenes. But
Yeah, when you
I'm
have all
still
the things
thinking
like
about it
Scylla
24
and
hours
Charybdis
later.
and stuff. Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
so I would say worth seeing, though, just make sure it's sometime when you can sit for the full approaching 3 hours time.
Great.
Not my skill in life.
It's hard for me to be in a movie theater for that long. Everybody has a secret old lady trait. I think that we all have like a secret childish trait and at least one and like an old person trait. But my old person trait is 100% like I bitch about movie theaters so much. Like,
They
because
have changed. They have changed from how they used to be. You are now have, like, a recliner seat.
I do
There
like
is
that.
alcohol. There is seat warmers.
I'm
There's
getting to like it
yes.
more and like you can bring in your own food. I'm a big fan. I will say I make an exception for like Alamo Draft House type of things where there's like a full menu and they bring my French fries to me at my seat. So I
Do they
like
bring a
that.
bathroom to us too? I mean, I know, I
Well, then that's my
agree. It
problem.
was
Post kids, I have trouble peeing. Not I have trouble going 3 hours without peeing, especially if I'm having like my champagne and popcorn. So I do like the ability to be able to pause, and it depends on the movie because if it's and what time you go. Because if it's the time when teenagers are going, and I paid $19 plus concessions to have teenagers making out in front of me or people on my phone, I will yell at you
again, I would
and or be a Karen.
recommend going to a modern day movie experience,
I have
SJ,
been to the movie
because
theater
there
in
is
the past
now
year.
because with the bigger seats that like most theaters now have, there's
Yes,
actually
they
a
were
lot
expensive.
less people too.
Oh, okay.
Like if you go to a theater as you're used to going to a theater, which can fit like so many people, and then you're in a recliner seat where there's really maybe like 6 rows in the entire theater, there's less chances for there to be obnoxious people to annoy you.
I think it also depends on the movie because I
Well,
don't know
don't
that,
go and,
like,
like, see the
obnoxious teens
Avengers.
are, gonna be making out at a 3-hour Christopher Nolan epic adventure.
The people next to me might have been getting handsy, I wasn't sure. I just kinda tuned it out. I was like, "Go get it, first daters," you
I mean, I'm
know?
happy for them. It's also just a cost differential and the fact that at home I can pause it. But that's just my old person trait. I would love to know, Kay, what is your secret old person trait?
So, 1, I agree that I'm overall not good at sitting through movies, and I only go to see things that I wanna see in the big screen, but My old person trait is, like, absolutely everything about me, but particularly loud noises. Like, going to a restaurant where the music is too loud that I can't hear the people around me, I'm like, "For the love of God!"
Oh,
Like, people didn't
that
come to
is
a
very
concert.
much mine too.
Yeah.
Is like when they have live music, but it's like so loud that, or just any music, but especially like if they paid extra money to have live music, but it's just like some random cover band that sucks and then I can't hear. Cause it's like, I think maybe in my days also where I just had infinite nights out in front of me, then it'd be like sometimes you hang out with the same people a lot. You don't need to hear them all the time. But now I'm like, I paid $150 for a sitter for the night. Like, I don't get to go out that much. And
Yeah, I did not come to sit
I
with this
made
shitty
very specific
band.
plans with friends that I don't get to see that much, like 2 weeks in advance. So like I want to talk to them. I want to hear what's going on in their lives. And you and I accepted obviously because we get to shoot the shit all the time. Like I do see my mom friends a lot, but everybody who has been around small children knows that you cannot have a real conversation in like 10-second increments before your kids interrupt you with their problems. So, yes, agree on that one.
Yes.
And my child tendency, for anyone who wants to know, because our friend was like, this is actually very childish of you, is I don't like my foods to touch. And so my ideal plate is actually the one with the little sections in it. So each of my food can have its own little compartment.
Oh, I like, just blend it all together and make it all mash.
Which also, I
Sorry.
guess, a little bit is some kids, but
Sorry.
I'm like the toddlers that don't want anything mixed together and need all my foods deconstructed.
So, The Wicker Man, The Wicker is our other movie that we are discussing today. It is an up-and-coming film starring Olivia Colman and
Alexander Skarsgård. Disclosure to our audience, Kay had not heard the buzz about this at all, whereas I have been like knee deep in internet memes about this movie. If you haven't yet seen the trailer and you don't know what we're talking about, please pause, go watch the trailer. You look a little bit startled.
Wicker. Did he have to be made out of wicker? Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Had to be made
did.
out of
He's a wicker
whisker.
daddy.
Yes, and Tyrion Lannister constructed him,
Yes.
also known as Peter Dinklage.
Yes. No, he's just Tyrion Lannister now. Right. So apparently the story is that Olivia Colman plays a fisherwoman in like an old-timey village who has not found herself a man, doesn't have the man that's right for her. So she goes to Peter Dinklage, who is a basket weaver of some sort, perhaps with nefarious underworld connections. And he makes her a wicker man, played by Alexander Skarsgård. And I just feel like this movie was made for the good girls, and I'm so excited because it's
Are we
just
going to
like,
see it in theaters? Or are you not going to let us see it in theaters in
I
case
will
there's a
make an
teenager?
exception. Oh, there's absolutely no. I don't think the teenage. This is too weird for the teenagers. The teenagers want to watch like sexy teens fucking, and this is like Olivia Colman is a mature lady. This is obviously made for the perimenopausal women who are reading inanimate object smut on their Kindles to come together. So yes, I will be making an appearance at the movie theater for this movie. Any reactions?
Wicker.
Yeah, I do think that you're gonna want to learn how to wrap that tool.
Yeah, I would
Just
imagine
for, like,
that it feels good.
non-chafing
I
part.
am curious about, like, the
It's
cleaning
ripped for her
afterwards.
pleasure.
Yes, but what about the cleaning?
I don't know because, well, obviously, first of all, there's magic involved, and secondly, sometimes, like, natural fibers, it's like you're supposed to wear underwear made out of natural fibers, and they're just sort of, like, absorbent, and, they will, like, breathe more and can then, like, dry out in the sun. I don't know,
Okay, you're right. So maybe
maybe
it's
you
just
just need to
all
put it out in the
natural
sun.
advice. It is a worthwhile seen trailer. It is definitely horny and apparently also heartwarming. And if they got Olivia Colman and Peter Dinklage,
That's what I'm saying. It's not just like a smutty, like somebody like made a porno out of a like inanimate out of a Chuck Tingle book, which like blessings to Chuck Tingle. I would also go see that. Probably not in the theater. That'd be a weird crowd. But it's an artsy movie. People are also calling it 50 Shades of Hay, which I love.
I do not mind 50 Shades of Hay.
But I feel like it's really like playing into the whole thing where people are like, oh, it's like a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing that it's like, oh, she doesn't actually want Gaston. Like she wants, although there was some like Beauty and the Beast jokes about it where they're like, I need to know that Alexander Skarsgård plays him the entire time because our generation was burned by Beauty and the Beast.
When the
and
Beast
him like
changed at the end into a not attractive,
and to
like,
not hot guy. Like he
Yeah.
just looked like he sucked. So it's like, no, we want the Beast. We're watching it for Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, there were a lot of jokes that are like, he better not, like, change away from Alexander Skarsgård the whole time. It's kinda like the Snowman movie, I think, but a little bit artsier, that he's just, like, this inanimate sex toy object kinda come animated to life to just, like, fulfill her needs, and he doesn't really talk that much, and then he fixes the bed after they fuck on it.
Whew. Okay. I did have one remaining.
Sorry, I'm just showing Kay a tweet that says, "This is the skin of patio furniture, Bella,"
Oh my.
over a picture.
Again, I could see the texture is feeling nice. Just have questions.
I mean, I'm just really impressed by, like, the makeup well, first of all, whoever thought of this, and, like, that there was somebody who was like, "Great idea, 10 out of 10, let's back it." When I think it's a lot harder to get a movie made than, like, some other things, because like, you have to have, like, quite a bit of a budget versus, like, a book. You can just, like, write the book and be like, "Hey, does anyone wanna publish this? No? I'll just self-publish it on Amazon." But, like, this, they had to, like, come up with the concept, get, like, Olivia Colman, Peter Dinklage, Alexander Skarsgård on board with it, and then, like, hair and makeup him, and then you look at him,
Maybe
you're
a
like,
billionaire's child wrote it. Who knows?
I don't know, but I mean, I feel like the ladies are legit excited about it.
Okay. So lots to look forward to. Maybe more to look forward to that than see the Odyssey. Though again, I thought the Odyssey was worth it. I just thought I wouldn't
I'm
mind
just
have
gonna wait for
seen
the Greta
Greta
Gerwig
Gerwig's
version,
version.
or, like, the smuttier version. Like, I just want
That's like Greta, I felt like could have portrayed that Calypso was having questionably consensual sex with Odysseus for a while and
without just
basically
some gentle
hold
grasping over the
captive
pants.
without it, and she could have done it in a way that made it interesting and intriguing. Instead, it felt like Christopher Nolan was like, "I'm gonna shy away from the whole female rape situation."
Well, I feel like he just shies away from, like, the female characters in general. Like, that was a lot of the feedback that I read, was just like, this is a book that has, like, all these, like, rich, interesting female characters, like Athena, yeah, like, Helen is interesting. She's like, Penelope, so interesting. And there was somebody who wrote a version that it's like, it's the Odyssey, but it includes, like, all these letters from Penelope.
Yes, Cersei is a character.
Cersei, another great one.
And Cersei Cersei is a sorceress who, and this is, I don't think that there's any spoilers because it is long existing epic. So Cersei tricks all of Odysseus's men into drinking this stew that turns them into pigs. And then Odysseus stays with her for a year, sleeping with her in exchange for the
Mhm.
men staying men after that and him not being turned. And Cersei was definitely never, there was no sex between her
Like, so
and
many missed
Odysseus.
opportunities, especially those of us who are smut readers know that there's, like, great ways that you can approach, like, the darker kinda side of, like, it's not entirely consensual, but, like, it's still kind of hot and, like, deep down, he, like, kind of obviously wants it, and, without having it either just be, like, sanitized with the sex removed or, like, try to just make it
I
bland,
just
like, "Okay, here's them,
wonder,
like, having a little affair."
like, if it was a guy who was a perpetrator, would he be more likely to keep it because he's more comfortable with, like, the ethical situation around that, that it's, like, objectively bad and all that, than
Yeah,
when it's
those
a
of us who
woman
watched Game
doing
of
it?
Thrones, we have no problem with things that's just, like, a bunch of non-consensual sex with women, then they're just like, "Oh, that's, like, a thing that happens in war, blah, blah, blah."
Yes, but when
The
it's a
book
woman doing
is
it to men.
A Thousand Ships by Natalie Haynes, and it's more focused on the story of the Iliad. Um, Although I think it does go that far because it's all these different female perspectives, so it's vignettes all through the length of the Trojan War, but they're all told from the perspectives of different women, and so it is like the anti-Christopher Nolan Odyssey because it is entirely told through the eyes of all these, like, very interesting female characters. So if you find yourself disappointed by how little attention he pays to women's stories in the Odyssey, please pick up a copy of A Thousand Ships for yourself. And meanwhile, we will just be patiently waiting for Wicker to hit theaters so that we can enjoy real big screen inanimate object smut.
So I can be fair for a few things. One is that he did have some more emotional scenes where Penelope explained that you're saying that this is an empty throne, is an empty throne that I've been sitting on and doing everything, but they never actually showed Penelope like doing any leading or making any decisions for the kingdom, or like she was always just sitting there like weaving the shroud, but there was not
Boo.
any, yeah. And then for Helen's sister, so Helen's sister She's married to, it's like Edgemamaman.
Agamemnon.
Okay, well, look at you, show off. So she was married to him, who's obviously like the lead, the lead in Marriage Troy, the lead warrior. And he had sacrificed their young daughter to the gods to help like win the favor for the war. And so she actually tricked him and killed him when he came back. But instead of even like diving into that, it's just like, oh, like, and she killed my brother, and like now we have avenged her and she's dead. But it's like, no, that was like a mom who was like, grieving her daughter. And
again, that's covered in 1,000 ships too. So again, I'm my old people traits of hating the movie theater are melding together with my hatred of hearing stories about women told by men. So I'm going to hold out for Wicker and go read 1,000 Ships again.
Yes. Okay. Well, that concludes our movie mini episode. Hope everybody has a great day. Maybe see the Odyssey. Yeah, maybe
if you're feeling it. Yeah.
Greta Gerwig has no plans to make this movie. We're just
putting it out there in the universe.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.